Hello everyone, friends. In the US, there's another scandal surrounding Donald Trump's immigration policy, the President of the United States. And this scandal is connected to the fact that President Trump is considering the possibility of giving preferences to white Christians from South Africa and Europe who are seeking to enter the US as refugees. American journalists have obtained documents that describe in detail possible changes to the legislation that are coming specifically on this issue. The New York Times reported that Trump is considering the possibility of revising the refugee admission system in a way that would benefit white people. In January, Donald Trump officially suspended the admission of refugees into the territory of the United States of America. All of them, in fact. That is, we won't be accepting anyone. However, in May, he made an exception to his ban and allowed 59 white South Africans from the Republic of South Africa to enter the United States. And they were granted refugee status. His reasoning was as follows: they are being persecuted there. They are a minority that is being oppressed by the black majority. This concerns the Republic of South Africa. Accordingly, he invited them and they entered and received refugee status. All of this was happening against the backdrop of the fact that back in February 2025, the issue of the persecution of the white population in the Republic of South Africa had already been raised. At that time, the White House published the following decree on its official website. The goal: with shocking disregard for the rights of its citizens, the Republic of South Africa recently passed Expropriation Act number 13 of 2024. This law allows the South African government to confiscate agricultural property from ethnic minority Afrikaners. Afrikaners are the white population of South Africa. Without any compensation. This law, which comes after a long history of countless government intrusions and repeated interventions, follows in the same pattern, aimed at destroying equal opportunities in employment, education, and business, as well as offensive rhetoric and actions by the government fueling disproportionate violence against landowners, meaning whites, who are considered to be disadvantaged or marginalized on the basis of their race or ethnicity. And accordingly, it imposes sanctions and so on. Now, friends, let's look at some statistics. In the last year when Joe Biden was president in the US, the quota for the number of refugees from different countries who were allowed legal entry into the US was 125,000 people. As soon as Donald Trump became president, he agreed to accept in 2026 only a fraction of that number. How many do you think? 7,500 people, legally. 125,000 and 7,500 people. Trump does not want black African refugees from Africa to enter the US. Yes, and he doesn't want other refugees to come either. In other words, he's basically against everything, against people of color, let's put it that way. Trump, in principle, in his rhetoric both before and during the election, he demonized illegal immigrants. Here's what he said. They bring drugs, they bring crime, they're rapists, and some of them, I suppose, are good people. That's what Trump said about illegal immigrants in 2015. And you can trace this rhetoric in the news, he's quoted and so on. During his 2024 presidential campaign, Donald Trump stated that if he becomes president, from day one, he will launch operations on the territory of the United States of America, the largest deportation program in US history to rid America of criminals who, as he believes, entered the US illegally and committed crimes. This program is already being implemented on a massive scale, and we can see how immigration service workers operate in American cities, catching these illegals, chasing after them. We can see how all of this is happening. The former chairman of the Democratic Party in Washington, Scott Bolden, writes, Trump seems to be nostalgic for the days of his youth when America's population was predominantly white. In 1960, when Trump was 14 years old, the US Census Bureau stated that almost 89% of the US population were non-Hispanic whites, which is significantly higher than the nearly 58% projected for 2028. It seems Trump wants to turn back time to make America white again. This kind of rhetoric that whites will be allowed in, as if that's what Trump wants to do, and everyone with dark skin, so to speak, would not be allowed into America. Or at least they wouldn't try to let them in. That's the situation. What do you think about this topic, friends? Please share your opinion in the comments.